Good morning and welcome to Sully-sur-Loire. This is the beginning of the UNESCO World Heritage Site here in central France. This is where it all begins. This is why UNESCO, as you can see the beautiful castle beside me, this is why UNESCO started to basically give this area World Heritage Site significance, and it's actually been expanded since it was first created. What I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks or so is giving you some locations that you can come to. So obviously here there's Sully-sur-Loire, going to a couple of others this morning. So there's going to be quite a few as I head from east to west over the next few weeks, going down the Val de Loire UNESCO World Heritage Site. I've got to say huge thank you to Val de Loire organisation for actually giving me the data which shows where the boundary is, the official boundary of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. There you go, here's Sully-sur-Loire. What's coming up next? Well, I'll show you what it is I'm doing, but then I'll just take you to a couple of different destinations. Be aware, I'll probably be coming back here quite a lot. Why? Actually because I'm hopefully going to be working on a project to photograph the entire UNESCO World Heritage Site, Val de Loire. This is what I'm currently looking at, Sully-sur-Loire. I've got my 24mm tilt shift on. Absolutely essential with this shot because it's actually to get it in and to get everything bolt upright, you really do need that tilt shift. Now there are a couple of issues. For example, what I want to do with my own composition is just on the edge. You've got this tree line there, which because it's 24mm and it's quite wide, just on the edge there, just going to get that off. And I have to be aware that obviously these trees here, they're coming down on the edge as well. So personally I'm going to do a blend. So I've got two stops and 2/3. So what that should do is it should hopefully give me a foreground lit shot, and then also we've got the sky there. There's a little bit of burnout in the sky. I always check the info here. You can see it's just about burning out on the red. Can maybe get that back later in Lightroom. Let's take it down. So sorry, I was actually at I've got my auto exposure bracketing set. It was 2 stops and 1/3 away from my base exposure. Let's try it at 2 stops and 2/3 of a stop, and that should give me enough detail in the sky to do a blend. And there we go, just a little nick there on the right channel, on the red channel there, but that's enough. So that's a good first start here at Sully-sur-Loire. There's a polarizer on the front. It's not making that much difference, but it is taking off the sheen on the water there. So there you go, that's shot number 1. I'm going to do a few more around Sully-sur-Loire. Then I'm going to go to a couple of other places today. I can't be out all day today. I've actually got a meeting tonight, but in any case, hopefully you're enjoying Sully-sur-Loire. I am. It's beautiful here, absolutely beautiful. I finished what I wanted to do here at Sully-sur-Loire, so I've had a good look around. I found different angles, different compositions. So there's a few things that I need to note down for a future publication of this place and what it is that you can do here. So I'm not going to say what they are because obviously then that's going to ruin everything. But basically I need to take my time. I need to just basically think what's here, what's there, what works, what doesn't work, angles of sun, all those types of things. I'm going to have to go into the future publication of what it is I'm going to be working on. So I've got a notebook with me, and I'm probably going to be visiting this place, I guess, a good dozen times over the next coming seasons. So I want to capture it in all different seasons, as well as lots of other places that I've got marked off. Probably about 80 different locations as a minimum that need to be looked at, photographed, and then see what the access is as well, because sometimes you can get to places, sometimes you can't get to places for certain times of the day. But anyway, I'm just going to show you the scene and what happens when you just wait just a little bit until the sun comes up and you can see the beautiful light here on the castle. So this is the shot that I'm looking at, vertical shot instead of landscape orientation. It's about 50mm or so. There you go, that for me, I'm just thinking in my head, a Canon 50mm tilt shift. I'd love to get my hands on that Do I really need it? Well, when I look at the info on the back of my camera with the level there, it's just a little bit off. So there's probably a tiny bit of converging verticals that are going on in there, but it doesn't really matter at all. So you can see I've got my grid lines on there. You might be able to see them. So each tower there is on the third, and then we've got a bridge there. What I need to do is actually just bring this across. And what I'm doing is, if I go too far this way, then I've got, if I maybe try and show you well, basically here, this very bright highlight is on the edge. I don't want that. So let's take that away. And then let's see if I can get an arch in. So I want these two arches here. And if I go too far to the right, you can see there's this tree here, this tree here. So I'm just going to try and cut that out. Very gently pull that across. And that's the sort of composition that I'm looking at. Just bring down the exposure just a little bit. We've got quite bright highlights on there. And when I look at the info, you'll see that everything is there in the histogram. Now I'm just making sure that the lightning conductors on the top of the towers, they're all in there. That's exactly what I want. Perfect, for me anyway. So I'm going to mark that on the back of my camera, 5-star. So I know when I go into Lightroom which photo that is a keeper for me. And one last thing I do, always before you walk away, just quickly zoom in, make sure everything's sharp, which it is, and that's it. That's what I'm after. My polarizer's on the front as well, so because it's actually the angle of the sun is, if you're looking at the GoPro, is off this way, so it's really nicely polarizing up there. Maybe do it again just a little bit. Now something actually, as I'm seeing traffic go past in the background, I'm being reminded of, is there is a tiny gap of traffic there. So I'm having to basically just think, okay, I want no cars in this gap here. That's the photo, I think, that'll do. Break that one again. That's it. Right, let's move on somewhere else. I've left Sully-sur-Loire behind and I've come to a place called Julian. Julian, I think it is. I can never pronounce it. It's a pain for English speakers because it's G-I-E-N, so it's E-N on the end. Julian. Never remember which one. I'm sure someone will correct me somewhere along the line. But I've come here and actually stood right in the middle of the Loire, because the Loire is quite empty at the moment, and I'm literally in the middle looking at the bridge that goes across from the south to the north side. It's pretty much half empty, so I'm quite lucky. I'm able to get a really nice reflection across the River Loire, looking at the old bridge there to the town centre, the old town centre and the castle on the hill. This town is famous for its pottery, so very expensive pottery if you ever come here and you want to buy some. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you what it is I'm photographing, and then I'm going to go into the tourist information and just find out if there's any historic buildings and things like that in the city centre that might be worth photographing, and what sort of time of day I should be able to go there, whether there's any paid entry, stuff like that. So I'm going to do that, and then from here I'm going to actually sort of start making my way back. I'm also going to see if they've got a tourist map, just to see if there's anything that I don't know about around here in the more wider area. So the department actually that I'm in is called Loire, which is spelled L-O-I-R-E-T, which is basically the furthest eastwards of the actual UNESCO World Heritage Site, Val de Loire, Loire Valley. So yeah, I'll actually give you a little bit of technical information language-wise, is that although us English-speaking people call this the Loire Valley, it's called actually the Val de Loire, V-A-L. So the Val de Loire actually means the Loire Vale. So if you look up a literal translation of it, it's not Loire Valley, it's actually the Vale of the Loire, if you want. So it doesn't sound as, let's say, sexy as the Loire Valley, but is there a Loire Valley? Actually, there is. It's actually around Angers. So when you're going along the motorway, you'll see these big brown signs, and you'll see it will say Vallée de la Loire, so it's Loire Valley, or Valley of the Loire. But anyway, there you go. I'll just show you where I am at the moment so you can see and appreciate what it is that I'm photographing. So there's the scene, looking towards the old town, the old city centre there. You can see why it is that I've come here and tried to capture this. Now looking at this, I do have a shot, but I'm thinking maybe I might recompose it. So what's the issues I have? I need to check what's actually in my shot that I've taken. But you've got this sort of, I guess it's a sandbank there that's just looking. So you've got a bit of a sandbank there. One of the other issues that I've got at the moment is that there's some wind which is taking away some of the reflection. Now I know some people would say, put on a neutral density filter, that'll get rid of it. That's not really what you should be doing. You shouldn't be faking it. Just wait, the wind will go down. Yes, the light might get a little bit harsher, but the wind will ease down and you can get it. It's looking quite nice at the moment. So I'm going to go off, slightly change my position. I'll just leave my camera bag where it is. There's nobody here. I'm in the middle of the Loire. So I'm going to just see if I can get a slightly better angle on what it is that you're looking at on this this old town centre here. As I said, you can see why it is I've come here. Beautiful. The only other thing that's bothering me at the moment is there's a bit of a traffic jam going into the city. So you can see all the cars going along the bridge there. So you've got every so often these white van men. But you're a pain at the moment because you're ruining my shot. But yeah, just going to move a little bit and see how much more of a difference it makes just moving from where I am, get rid of this sandbank here, and then see if I can get a bit of a better angle on the old town there. There you go, that's what it is I'm up to this morning. I'm going to do a couple of other things and then I'm going to be making my way back to where I live, but I've also got a couple of things in mind for this afternoon before I actually head back around 4 o'clock or so this afternoon. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, there you go. I'll stop rabbiting and flick up the picture. Well, I'm still in Julian, or Julian, however you pronounce it, and I found a scene with the traditional Loire boats, and then there's the bridge that goes over the River Loire, and I'm looking at it and thinking, yeah, it's not bad, but trying to see if I can get some kind of composition. It's not the simplest thing. So there is a path that goes down by the Loire. I'm going to go down and have a look and see if there is something there, but I'm going to, just after this, I'll just flick up what it is that I've done. You'll see it's not the simplest shot. There seems to be too much negative space on the left hand side for my own liking, so I'm going to go down and just see if I can either clamber up the bank halfway or keep ground level, use my tilt shift and really get in there and see what I can do with it. But I kind of really like this shot if I can, but I don't know if it's possible or not. We'll see. So I came down on the bottom of the riverbank, and you can see the traditional Loire boat beside me, the wooden boat there, and kind of I went halfway up this bank here just trying to get a shot. It just did not work. What's the problem? Well, when you look at the mast, it's actually cutting up above the top of the bridge. Well, I don't want that. I want the mast below the bridge. I don't want it cutting across the horizon so starkly. And can I get rid of it? Well, I can if I go up there, but it just doesn't really work. Believe me, it doesn't really work. So I just thought, oh well, okay, well at least I tried. So I can't remember if I said in the last sequence, but at the end I had a bit of a walk around the town. They gave me a map to walk around. I just thought, yep, okay, it's interesting in some respects, but I don't think it's a winner for me here. It's pretty, but there's not enough to warrant this as a stop in what it is that I'm doing, a project that I'll be doing and undertaking. So yeah, I'm going to go and get some lunch because I'm starving, and then kind of start to make my way back. I've got three places to go to this afternoon. I'm going to see how they work out, get out of the heat of the sun, go and buy some water as well, because it's just like 30 degrees at the moment. So am I complaining? No, it's okay. It's just it would be nice to have a little bit of cloud. There's just a little bit of cirrus up there, but not much. Anyway, let's carry on and get lunch somewhere. It's the end of the day here in the Val de Loire. Where am I? somewhere west of Sully-sur-Loire. That's all you need to know really. I won't really say exactly where it is just because of the project that I'm going to be doing. So hasn't been a bad day. I've got to go unfortunately in the middle of the afternoon just because I've got to get back to my house and then do a presentation of my work tonight for some people. So it's just how it is, you know. I'll either earn money doing this or earn money doing something else. So yeah, so I'm just gonna basically say thanks again for watching, thanks for keeping up with my vlogs, thanks for the new people coming along and commenting, it's really appreciated. What's coming up next? Don't know actually, maybe down to Indre again. There's some things I'd kind of really like to do if the light is how I really want it. There's somewhere I'd love to go back to. I lost some photos of that I took a couple of years ago. So in any case, thanks so much for subscribing. See you on Instagram, Facebook and wherever else, and see you next week. And take care and stay safe. Thanks. Bye.